welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and today we're here to give you yet another installment of our Dresden Case Study. Today we're going to be covering snakes. Yes, and I know it sounds very weird, or you could call it dragon tails if you'd feel better about it, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We are going to be using a jelly roll race as our base, so they've been done, and we're going to do another jelly roll in a couple of weeks, but if you need any help with them, we'll quickly explain them. And I want to introduce you to Shannon from Moody Girl Creates. Her YouTube channel is lots of fun, and she does lots of cute little things too. So if you go check her out and you subscribe there, tell her Brenda sent you. Okay, we also have a Facebook group. Now when this is being filmed, I'm not sure when this drops, so it's kind of like we're either going to be voting on the next month's virtual sew date that we're doing, or we've got one scheduled. So if you want your input or you want to come join us, please go to the Facebook group. That's in the show notes below. The templates for what I'm using, but you could use any Dresden ruler, right? They're also in the show notes below. So come on in, we got lots of sewing today. Okay, as you can see, I use an 18-degree ruler and I put 5 together, so we kind of have that 90-degree angle. It probably is not perfect 90-degree angle, but it'll work. So I've any Dresden ruler you have, or any angled ruler you have, will work. Now let's just, as we did last week we did the medallion, we just started out with very simple, sew it onto some muslin fabric, because I have lots of this in my studio. So I just roll along here very quick. Just going around the top. I'm going to do a little back stitch at the both ends. Now I'm going to pull out some thread here and get this bottom piece done. Now this will help the fan, essentially, or Dresden blades, to curve quite smoothly, and it'll look like a nice curve when I'm done. You could use interfacing. I have interfacing, but I also have tons of muslin fabric, so I figured, okay, use what you have. If you have, the joke is if you have really ugly fabric that's been donated to you, not that anybody shops for ugly fabric, but sometimes things go in and out of fashion, and it's like, wow, that really is ugly when it's all said and done. Then you can use that too. But I'm just using a light muslin fabric that, I've got kicking around here just to turn my edge. Now, I've only done the curves, the top and the part of the curves, because this I've left open, right, for turning. And in a second here, I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to iron it. Now, you don't need to see me iron it. Basically, I'm going to iron them so that they look like this. Now, these are just random little bits and bobs of stuff, and they're going to be making into a very fun quilting idea. So I will be back to sew all these together once I finish ironing this piece. Okay, so I'm back from the ironing board, and what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these and sew them just like this. Right? We're going to take them so we go back and forth from, the big curve to the little curve, and they're all going to nest pretty well together. And what it'll do is this will create a lovely S shape on a quilt. It's kind of a cheater way to put this out. Kind of a funny way to do things, I guess. Okay, so this goes like this. There we go. And we've got some checks. We've got a variety of different greens here. I cut too many greens, and I thought, okay, I can make art blocks, or I can make a art quilt. And I'm going to make an art quilt. Because I figured that's just as much fun as an art block. Now, You sew all of them the same way. So like this and like this, except it goes like this. Here we go. Yeah. Now you can, if you lay them out a certain way, on, let's say you've got a quilt that you want to play around with, right? You can lay these out in any direction that you want to go. There, so you don't have to go in a line. You can go up and down and across. You can alternate these blocks with little square pieces, so we have, you know, different angles going on with this quilt. So there, you line it up just like that. Just like that. You put them over. Okay. Now they kind of, I call it snakes because it kind of reminds me of the snake path that is left, you know, on one of the snakes, especially the ones that move, kind of in that S shape. But, I mean, this is, you'd call it wiggle if you'd like. It's whatever makes you happy. Okay, there. Yeah, we got some pretty bright colors here. When I was sewing these together, I'm like, what am I going to use them for? What am I going to use? I made oodles of them. Oodles and oodles of them. You could have just as easily double ended them as well with these. That's the other thing that you could do with this, is you could take them and just end them with the double points, and you wouldn't have to worry about the interfacing or the back. This all gets cut out of the quilt anyways, that you're going to applicate on. But yeah, you're just going to make a series of these. And we're just about there. Here we go. It's fun how sometimes you have to sit and think, okay, what would I do if? What would I do if I had this? Or what would I do if I had that? Or how can I use this? You look around your sewing room and all of a sudden you're inspired by something and it's like, okay. So I'm going to finish sewing these all into one very long, curvy piece. Because I think you've gotten the general idea of what I'm doing here. And then from there, I'll meet you at our cutting table in my sewing room, and we'll be pinning it out. Okay, you can see the medallion we did last time. So what I'm going to do is I got my gray jelly roll back out, and all I'm going to do now is pin this in place. And we're going to, when we're sewing this, we're going to look at like doing a very gentle curve, and I've got it at a bit of an angle here. And that's going to work out right. That's going to work out great. If you have, let's say you're doing this and one of your colors on your jelly roll just doesn't work, you can cover it up with a snake, just like this, and it looks great. It looks like you've added in a whole bunch of extra work that you didn't need to do, but I don't know, it's pretty good. This does add a lot of color. And I like this because it's all of the greens, so it's kind of you know, it's not as planned as the medallion was, and it's a great way of using up fabric, you know, just sewing it onto other fabric. I still have to cut out the back. Once I finish sewing, of course, I'm going to cut out the back just to reduce bulk, and that's where the fun starts. Okay. And you just, you know, you trim it out, and, you know, you get as much of the fabric out of the back that you need. Including, you're gonna cut out this part and this part, not the top. So anyways, I'll meet you back at the sewing machine. Okay, now that I've pinned my my Dresden Snake on my gray jelly roll race, I'm just gonna do a quick little top stitch across the very edge on one side, and then we're going to travel up the other side. And basically this is steering a curve, right? Oops, this is going to fall. It's going to be steering your curve is right. So you just have to, you know, take your time, steer a little bit, you know, don't get too worried about stuff. Now I have used my stiletto to push in little bits that just refuse to hang out in the right spot. And then I hold the work down when I go past so that it's, you know, has a nice clean finish on the edge. Now, one of the other things about a gray, you know, kind of a this kind of a neutral background for this piece is that there's enough white in it that if a little bit of your white is from your work, you won't see it. You won't see it as much. And I don't have a, here it is. Okay, I'll get that. Push that in. You don't see it because there's a lot of light in this gray. So I went the full spectrum of the gray from the darks to the mediums to the lights, like the lights over here, so that I would have an interesting background for this to go on. And I did the full spectrum of the greens as well. There. So I will wait for the big ta-da moment to show you what I've done. Okay, this is our big ta-da moment on my green and gray quilt that we've made. Now, last time we did a medallion. So now we did a quick little snake, and I'm going to get my cameraman to help me hold this up so you can see how these elements now are starting to play together. I don't know how we are going to do a picture, but it goes all the way, this green line goes all the way down to here. So basically you're just putting this in a fun little fold just to add another pop of color. If my cameraman will hand me what I had left over, I also have this to add in there at an odd angle if I wanted to, and I may do that. I may just, you know, just to use it up and move it out. You know, it's going to be a charity quilt, and I hope somebody just loves what we've made. So I hope you have a fabulous week ahead. Let me know what you think of this jelly roll, medallion, snake quilt, whether you like it or you can take that idea and run with it or have fun in your sewing room. It'll be great. So you have a fabulous week ahead, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for watching today. We're so happy about the way our channel has grown, and we just want to wish you so well in your journey along with us. Please like, share, and subscribe, and tell your friends. Now, the next thing is this quilt. We are wondering if you guys would like this quilt as a free sew along on this channel this fall, this coming fall, winter. We were kind of thinking that this one would be really fun to do. We could do it in a larger size or a smaller size, it's up to you, but this one was a lot of fun to make. And it's all, it lends itself to being hand stitched, but you can also do this on a sewing machine as well. So let us know in the comments below. Remember, share, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Okay, have a great week ahead. Bye!